It's that time again. What's up, everybody? This is Dads Lads Kebabs. Hope you enjoy the show. Deuces. Boom. Good evening, good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to another fantastic episode of Dads Lads and Kebabs. Miki, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I need to keep asking you how you are because I always forget. And the importance of today's episode is making sure that you're asking people how they're doing.
Okay.
All
This
right.
is
So
this is a, this is a Niall episode.
a
The sweet
Nile,
people.
a Nile episode. What do you mean a
Yeah.
Nile episode? It's annihilation.
Your your name's Niall.
It's annihilation. It's thunder. It's lightning. It's all coming.
Ladies, get ready to be annihilated. You ever used that saying? You fucking
You know,
should have done.
I've never used it.
That's
Yeah, but I
fucking
feel like
brilliant.
if I if I pull that out on my wife next time I pull out and finish, and I'll just say you just got annihilated.
Oh,
I reckon I'll be getting served divorce papers.
that'd be epic.
Don't think it's a filming moment either.
No, she might not like that.
Just walking out going, you just got annihilated. However,
Girlfriend.
everything in me wants to do it now because it just makes sense in my messed up brain doing that.
Oh,
Sometimes you've just got to do it for the comedy, right? Do it for the comedy is one of my favorite things.
do it for the gram.
No, not the gram, just the comedy. Even self comedy is the best medicine ever. Do you know you just laugh inappropriately with to yourself
Yes.
when you shouldn't.
Not so much anymore, but I have in the past. Yeah.
God, I love it. My brain will calculate a situation and then make a bad. I've told you this before. In a bad scenario, Niall's brain goes to dark comedy. I guess that's like a wiring issue. That something's going wrong upstairs. But do you know what I mean? Like, for example, at a funeral, I'll be stood in the pews. People will be walking down with a coffin, and in my brain I'll go, yeah, but wouldn't it be funny if they drop the coffin there?
I think that every time I'm at work, when I'm watching a coffin going at a funeral, I think, oh, I wonder what happens if they drop it in.
Not even drop it in, just drop it in general, like walking
Uh,
down the aisle.
some of them, it's not a wedding. Some of them are heavy,
It
and
is
you
down
see
an
people
aisle, though.
struggling. It's not an aisle. It depends. Some of them are climbing over graves to get in the hole, mate. Depends on where it is. You don't have a nice open track. The earth doesn't open up and it makes it all smooth and nice,
I was going to say, what happens, especially in the winter months, as if it's been raining 2 days before and it's created a bit of a slippy underpath? That's dangerous.
Yeah, yeah, we always have that in the winter,
Especially,
especially if they're close to each other, the
yeah,
graves, because we get
shuffling.
busy. The ground is all slushy, and we put mats down, but you see the water coming through the mats, and it's like fucking hell. And then, yeah, you get people trying to take shortcuts across other blocks, yeah, and they're the
You
blocks
sexy bastard.
we don't fucking go on because we know you're sinking, and they come out and they're up to past their ankles is now muddy wet,
Because
and you try not to laugh because you
in
think,
that moment,
haha,
it's
you,
kind of like, if your car keys fell in a river, right? You've got to get in that river. In that moment, if you're carrying a coffin and your legs are up to your knees in sludge, you're in the sludge, mate. Just deal with it. You
yeah, but
can't.
it's funny when they don't realise and they try and take a shortcut. They can't be able to use a nice clean path, and then they
It's not.
instantly regret it, and you just laugh inside.
It's not a wardrobe though. You can't take shortcuts. It's not a. Do you know what I mean? Let's just put this sofa over the back fence because the back door's bigger.
No,
No.
it's a funeral.
Funerals are funny ones, aren't they? Like it depends. What do you have? What do you open? I had this conversation a while back with somebody. Do you know, like, and I said one of the most morbid things I ever see is if you go to a crematorium. Do you know where the curtains close?
Hmm.
I don't like that. I don't appreciate it.
But you want to see them burn?
No, because they don't burn there and then in the
I know
bloody
they don't. Yeah.
church. It's not. It's not like literally bloody. Someone's just stood there with a bloody light
Flamethrower.
lighter fluid in a box of matches. Like it goes, takes out, they take it out, and then they put it in. But what I'm saying is, it's quite morbid at the fact that they
Annihilation.
close. Shut up, annihilation,
I'm gonna forever use that now.
annihilation. You just got annihilated.
Oh, it's fucking brilliant. Oh, it's made me laugh. Oh, do you like my hat?
I do. MMM, MMM,
Yeah, it
MMM.
is the charity hat from Dapper Laughs for his Men and Their Emotions group. They did baseball caps earlier on in the year, and then I saw a post about 2 weeks ago that these are available, so I bought one. Grey, black, and white.
It's a good image. It's a heart, but it's also like a deer. It looks like deer with antlers. Then it looks like three M's if you just separate it.
Yeah, I don't know really, but yeah,
It's
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 still to raise money for his men's charity, men's mental health charity. So Daniel
Mhm.
O'Reilly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Stu's just bought one as well. He
Oh,
told
good.
me. Yeah,
Tell me the link. I'll buy. How much is it?
I don't know. I can't remember now.
Because if it's for charity, it's 400 quid. I'm not in.
No, it's about 20 quid, I think.
Oh, I'll do. I'll buy it. Send me the link. I'll buy it. Send me the link. I will buy it.
The white one looks quite nice, you know. The black one, not for me. I normally love black hats as well, but not really this one. Wasn't feeling it really.
Wasn't feeling it. You want a bit grey. You want a bit grey.
Gr-
You're changing the colour from the.
yeah.
Why does he look pouty in that? Why does it look like Peter Andre? Oh, mysterious girl. I've always hated that bloke. Always hated him. There's something weird about him. People going in the fridge. We need a drink.
Who's going in the fridge?
Pretty empty. Shopping's due tomorrow. It's Friday. Just
Yeah. What are we getting though? I think they're sold out. To be fair.
well,
'Cause
thank you.
are you even on that group?
No, I don't think so.
I joined it when Stu said about it when he was on our show.
Yeah, that was the group he was talking about. Um, I think obviously quite a relevant week for men's mental health.
Oh no, they are available still. Yeah, yeah, okay, I'll send you a link now.
Thanks, I appreciate
Uh,
it. I'll buy one. I will buy one for sure.
link copied. You don't have Facebook on though, do you? No. Alright,
No.
I'll send it on WhatsApp. So everybody, this is important to help men's mental health charities. There you go.
I got it. It's come through.
Oh yes, sorry, on your phone. Yeah, you can't do it at the moment because he'll fucking turn himself
On
off,
the phone, we're
and
filming
he
on
won't
this
annihilate
device.
himself.
I mean, I've annihilated myself many a times, but
Wow, wow.
yeah, pretty
Oh,
pretty prevalent week, isn't it, for men's mental health at the moment? Obviously,
I don't know.
Me- Men's Mental Health Day. Obviously, no, not Men's Mental Health Day, but Mental Health Day was Friday, just gone.
Oh, okay.
Um, Obviously, again, media is out there now. Obviously, surrounding Ricky Hatton and his passing
Oh
upsets me a
yeah,
bit.
they said how he died now, haven't they? Come out, I
Yeah,
saw
and
that
it
today.
upsets me a bit because I understand when people have a curiosity of how somebody passes or what happened and what did they do.
Yeah,
Um, and I get it, and I guess it is like you said. I think men obviously choose more violent approaches when it comes to suicide.
I don't think they should have said how
No,
he died. Personally, the way I just saw the headline, I'm like, oh my god, what the
and
fuck?
does it change anything? I don't know. Does it change anything? And
It makes him sound more desperate because
yeah,
the time and effort it took to do what he did, rather than the quick way, which would have been using a drink of something. So
the
yeah,
thing is that I don't know, and I think obviously people think. because I always think, especially people's stories that I've listened to over the years about people that have done it, and I do think it's like it's one of the most extreme ways I think, and I think a lot of preparation goes into it. And I was listening to Professor Green's podcast
Mm.
last night with Jamie Lang.
Is he still going, Professor Green?
Oh, he's still going
Not
strong.
singing though,
Bless
is
him.
he?
Yeah, yeah, he's rapping still. He's rapping still. He's just brought out a new album.
Oh, okay.
I've always liked Professor Green, but
Yeah,
yeah,
so have I.
just brought out some new stuff. He's brought out a new one dissing Keir Starmer.
He's
Um,
going to prison.
oh, he brings out all sorts of stuff. He doesn't. I think he's so so raw with what he says. But anyway, I was listening, and obviously, he was having a conversation about men's mental health and suicide, and obviously the approach to it. And I think it's desperate measures, isn't it? At that point, if you're going to
Mm.
do something so horrific in nature, it's desperate measures. And I think one of the quotes he said was, I think Jamie said, if you could speak, if you, because obviously his dad died of the same scenario as
Well,
Ricky
Professor
out.
Green. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I heard that.
Um, and it is one of the most violent. Well, I think men have, like you said, more violent tendencies to think about how they're going to do it. They'd either jump off a bridge or, again, multiple things that you don't really want to discuss. But I think the question is why. And I think Jamie Lang
Yeah,
said to him, if you could ask your dad one thing, what would it be? And it was, what was hurting so bad at that point?
yeah. To take that final step.
And he rationalized it in such a in a calm way. And he said, like, sometimes that people do that is because they've lost all control in their life, and the one thing they can control
Is that?
is how they leave.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And in order to take control, their life has to end, but they got to take the final act.
That's quite common as well when people have eating disorders.
Mhm.
Mainly in care, from what I've learned and experienced, that they're not in control of their daily routines. They're not in control of how they spend their money because they always have assistance because somebody has deemed it so. And the only thing they can control is
What
what they
goes in their
eat,
body? Yeah,
how
what
much
goes in their
they
body?
eat. Yeah. So that's quite common in people in care.
Hmm.
Um, Again, same situation, something that they can control, and they choose to do what they do.
Yeah. And I think at that final moment, when you think of obviously the things that have gone on recently, and not just in the world of fame, but in everyday world as well. So we're not just
Mm,
talking about celebrity, but just general men in general. That if you're at that point, I think the question is what is hurting so bad? Because in order for you not to see a way out, something's got to seem like you've lost all control.
yeah.
And I think that resonates with like sometimes how I think about it because sometimes I'll try and rationalize it from that point of view. And I thought about it with Ricky, and I thought there must have been something that said, "Do you know what? What? I've got nothing. I've got nothing. There's nothing left. I'm
Yeah.
done."
Check out time.
And you'll never know in that moment. You'll never know because like everybody says, they appear fine. There's no, there's no signs. Things look like every day.
Hours before, they're laughing, joking.
And then
Yeah.
it's a switch, and there's a TV advert. Two blokes at a football match. One's sitting there just watching the game, quiet, just watching the game, get cracking on with it, not saying anything. Two friends, and the
Yeah,
other
seen
one,
that.
the other one's loud, in your face,
Yeah.
jumping up and down, and yet it was the loud one that killed himself.
That didn't come back. Yeah.
And people are like, yeah, but you would have never have seen that. You would have thought it would be the quiet one because you would have assumed something was wrong.
Is it a facade? Is it for show? Is it an act?
And I get it, everybody
Yeah.
acts different. And I think obviously at that moment when you are committing obviously such act, nothing must seem of value other than your initial thoughts at that time.
Yeah.
Or it does seem of value, but you see yourself as things would be better for every other people if I wasn't around.
It's. I have thought that in the past. To be fair, not that I would ever do that because I'm a pussy hole. I'm not
Yeah,
doing
but
that.
I think.
But I have thought maybe, oh, people don't need me. I'm no good
Mhm,
to anybody, and maybe I'd just like move away or something. Um, I know that's a cheap way of what I'm talking about, but like the easy way out is just to move away rather than doing it properly and finishing yourself, which is obviously what no one wants to do, and we don't want anyone to do that.
mhm.
But like I say, I have thought about that before, you know.
But
So
then people, I think, like, I think that's another way of doing it, right? Another way of doing it is not physical suicide, but physical isolation. So you
yeah,
just
I
yourself
suppose.
you're self isolating yourself from the world that you know. Some people I've seen, I've seen a lot of stories where people have had everything. They've had cars, money, job, the house, the life, and then all of a sudden they've just gone homeless. They've left everything behind and just gone homeless because it's a way of disappearing into a world that they don't know.
Yeah,
And it is one of those things where you'd think, well, no one would think to look for me in that area. They would think, where's he gone? What's he doing? What's he doing for money? Or, has something happened to him? But no one would think to look down the back alleys, sleeping in a doorway.
I think people just want to be needed and appreciated. I think and noticed sometimes. I
Hmm.
think maybe that's one of the reasons why. Because
Which,
obviously we're famous people and such like they have such admiration from everybody, from their fans, their friends, and oh yeah, I'm such and such his mate. A lot of that is not real. It's just like a show because obviously people don't know him or her, and I think the real people in their lives maybe they don't get it from them because they're like, oh, that's just Brian. Whereas to everyone else, it's like, oh my god, look at him. It's I think people your close family and friends would probably treat you differently, which they should, because otherwise you wouldn't be grounded and you'd be a right knob. But I think that sometimes that can cause issues as well, like the adrenaline, the buzz of not always getting the admiration that maybe they crave in a way
yeah, I get that in the world
of
of that, yeah,
that
fame
sort of
and
life. Yeah,
that
not
life, yeah.
not normal folk, but
But then, you know, sometimes you can have everything and have nothing at the same time, right?
yeah,
You can be in a world of everything, but then you'll feel like you're in turmoil because of the smallest thing. I mean, you look at your own mental health, for example. Has there
yeah,
ever been a time where you've felt beyond low, like bit like I'm not quite sure?
yeah. I've just said that.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
obviously you don't have to discuss it, but obviously that what put you at that point, all right? That took you to that
yeah. I do know.
place.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and then obviously
And I
at
think
that.
that was my brain interpreting things in a way that probably weren't happening.
Mhm.
So it's just in my head. I felt that way because things didn't happen, and I thought maybe they should. I don't know. Um, I don't know. That probably doesn't make any sense. But I knew why I felt that way,
Yeah,
and I knew that the reason I felt that way, or the reason it was happening, was probably not what I thought it was. But it was myself creating an issue and a problem, just maybe to try and understand what was happening in my head in the first place. So your brain tries to create a scenario, maybe someone to blame,
yeah, yeah.
because we never sometimes want to blame ourselves. We always need the outlay to blame on somebody. I think maybe that's a bit of that as well for myself.
That accountability for yourself and how you're feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I think that's difficult in those situations is the fact that sometimes when we feel low, we put ourselves in that position because we don't put things together properly in our mind. We put things together how we want to see them at that time.
Well, when I go low, I go proper low. I go even lower. If I'm feeling bad, I just shut myself down,
Hmm.
like trying to feel sorry for myself internally, and then I'm quiet with other people
Yeah,
to
that's
try
my
to try and get
defense.
sympathy. Oh, what's the matter? Oh, there's nothing wrong with me. Nothing. I'm fine. And then you go
But
in the full circle, and it's like, what the fuck?
my defense is to shut down internally,
Yeah.
but the exterior is the same. So
Okay.
you
Wow,
could
you can mask it well then.
and the reason why I do that is because I don't want to talk. I don't think people want to listen to my shit.
Yeah.
Like and sometimes in my head I'm going, you're just bitching out. You're just having a little bitch, mate. You know, pull it together. So and so doesn't want to hear you bitch. You know, no one needs a bitch around them. No one needs a pessimistic arsehole. You know, that fucking thinks everything's bad.
Yeah.
Keep it in.
Yeah.
And go on.
I get accused a lot of being, oh, he's playing the victim by certain people, and yeah, they don't know nothing anymore. But
But
hey
then,
hey,
do you know what? I've just read the Let Them Theory book off TikTok.
I've heard about that.
And do you know what? Some of it is quite repetitive, but some of it makes some sense in everyday life of the topic we're discussing. That actually, part of it tells me to like let myself feel the way I'm feeling sometimes. Like feel if you're sad, feel sad, but it doesn't mean I have to express it because I think it would take me a long time to express how I'm feeling. Like I couldn't. I think like do you know when people go, oh, I go to therapy once a week and I speak to a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
therapist. I think therapy would be so expensive for me because it would take me probably a long time to unbaggage everything that I think that I
Do you
carry.
know? Do you know what I also find? Yeah, the things that would help me a little bit and work for me, they wouldn't work for you, and I'll
Hmm.
tell you why. Because for me, if I'm feeling bad or low, I can just take myself off, go get a coffee, go chill somewhere in a park, not in a creepy way. Just chill in a cemetery, just get out of what you normally do and just go and sit in peace. But obviously, like yourself, people with young families, you've got kids, you can't just, well, I'm going for a couple of hours. I'm not feeling good. I'm just going to go for a drive, go sit on a bench for coffee. It's difficult to do that because obviously you got parental responsibilities. My children are grown up now,
Hmm.
so for me it's a bit different situation than it would be for you. You know,
Do you want to know what my therapy is? Are you ready for this?
wanking. So this is a serious episode.
You ready? This is my therapy.
Cleaning, yes, yeah, yeah. Niall cleans when he's stressed, when he's upset, when he's angry.
All these products are little tools of my therapy, and might seem silly to some, but when I was a kid,
Helps.
when I was a kid, and I'd struggle with things going on at home, or whatever was happening at the time, or being told off, or
Yeah,
I would clean my room, I'd organize my room, I'd change it around, and I would in turn of changing things around was me turning my thoughts and feelings, behaviors, getting rid of them because if I moved my bed around, it was a fresh start.
changing the
It was
situation. Yeah,
it was changing, and then as I got older, I always like I had a lot of friends that had a lot, and I didn't have a lot.
yeah,
And in my head, I never express it physically or in words or in gesture or anything, but a lot of not jealousy but envy of what people had because I was like, I didn't have that. I didn't have the fancy house that my friends had, and I didn't have you know all that stuff. And don't get me wrong, I had enough. In fact, I had enough, and I had a lot of everything
yeah,
else I needed. You know what I mean? Like didn't have money, didn't have loads of stuff, but I had my mum's time and all
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So don't get me wrong. great in one respect. But as I got older, I realised that, and this was from like an early, like a 15, 16 onwards, that the cleaning started, because I knew at that point, no matter how angry I was, by the time I'd finished cleaning, it was like it was an emotional cycle.
Yeah.
It would take everything in me to start, because I'd go, fucking hell, where do I start? Even now, when I come into the house, I'm like, at the moment, two kids, one's a baby, bottles there everywhere, nappies, wipes, yogurt pots, fucking dirty high chair, and all sorts of stuff. I look at the kitchen and go, where do I start? And from in my head now, for example, just the kitchen alone, the kitchen can be in the worst state possible. And I mean, full dishwasher, full washing machine, shit everywhere. And it's rare it's like that, because I don't know it like that. But when it is like that, I time myself, and I can do the whole thing from start to finish in 15 minutes. Right? Empty the dishwasher, put it away, do everything. And in my head,
Yeah.
I'm processing those emotions doing that.
Yeah.
So for me, that is my, like you said, you go off, sit, have a coffee, sit, be quiet. Mine is to bang some headphones in, put some songs on that calm me down, nothing too heavy, and then just clean. And then at the end of when I've done all my cleaning, I light a candle.
To release
Yeah, no, it's just like a thing. It's just like a ritual.
the bad juju.
It's no, no, it's just just a nice smelly. I love fucking candles, man. I get older and I appreciate a nice candle.
Yeah.
Um, but for me, it's more symbolic to how I'm feeling.
Yeah. Do you ever cry now?
I asked myself that question the other day, and I always thought, when the last time I cried? And more than likely, it would have been at a TikTok video.
I probably cried this week, to be fair. I do get. I am over emotional sometimes. I'm either nothing or everything. And like you say, if I was feeling shit and I had to remove myself from wherever I was and just go to a chill place and I listened to, I don't know, favourite songs or something, I think I would just cry because I'd be too high. Like the emotion would be too much because I'm feeling either too high or too down already. And then the song would bring me up completely and push me over the top. And then
Hmm.
I'd try and sing it in my head and then I just wouldn't be able to and I'd just cry, which is very strange. But the joys of
I,
autism, eh? Yeah,
well, I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute, but
yeah,
I, I feel more to cry when I'm at my happiest, but and I like good feelings, because
yeah,
I don't think I could. I don't in like I told you, in my head, when you're down, depressed, feeling shit, whatever it may be, your worst day, okay, your worst mental health day. But that then you're not allowed to cry. Then in my head, you're not allowed to cry.
no, no, you shut down.
That's bitch time. You want to be a bitch, act like a little bitch and shut up. No one wants to listen to it.
Yeah, yeah, I get that.
Tough, tough, like tough love in that respect. However, when I'm at my happiest, when I feel things are good, I'll be little things when I'll be playing with the kids, or I was on my way to work today, and I thought, I was on my way to work today. I just dropped the kids off at nursery school. I was driving through back country fields, had a coffee. When I got coffee, I was driving. I had some good songs on, and I thought, this is the moment I could, because this is the moment I could cry. And I remember thinking, I thought to myself at
Mm,
the time, I thought, you've done all right. That's what in fact, I said it to myself, when you've done all right. And that for me was like a nice moment, because I was like, things are going well. Things are going well. Today's a good
yeah,
day.
yeah.
Tomorrow might not be, but today's a good day, and you've done all right. And
At the moment, yeah,
you've got your coffee. You've dropped the kids off. It's a nice time of year. It's cold out, which makes me happier anyway. Um, and I thought, yeah, I'm happy now. I'm happy today. Today I'm happy. I might get to work and I might not be happy, but today I am. And I think, yeah, that for me is like a good day. That's when I want to cry. I want to cry at the best of times. I want to cry. I get more of a lump when I think of my kids,
oh yeah, yeah, I
because
get
I've
that. Yeah,
like I also get guilt as well. I get guilt in the evening. Parent guilt in the evening hits hard because I always think, oh shit, I should have played a bit more before they went to bed, or I should have let them stay up, or just change the routine a bit. And I think so. I get that guilt, and that makes me sad.
Yeah, you always get that feeling. Was I good enough? Am I good enough as a parent? Could you do things differently? And obviously, you always think you could do things differently and do it
Mhm.
better and do it longer. But I don't know.
And that's what I always think. I always think, could I love them any more? Could I do more for them?
Yeah,
Like, could I be better? What does being a bad parent look like? Am I doing things that present I'm a bad parent? Am I not? I always think, because I do everything and we read, you know what I mean? And we cook good things, we go on adventures, I try and make everything, we have so many little traits as what we do as a family. But then sometimes I feel like I'm letting myself down by going, you know, you're not being your best today. You're worried
yeah,
about something, you're not being your best. And that's what sometimes I hate taking that. That's where my mental health stems from, is not being enough in that situation.
yeah.
And I always think, oh, well, you're here, you're present, you're doing everything you can, you know. And kids don't want much, do they? They don't want much really until, especially when they're kids. Kids just want kids just want your time.
The thing, one bit of advice I would give you is enjoy the days, enjoy the moments when before they hit teenagehood. I really miss when my kids were like 8, 9 years old, and every time they saw you, they shouted "Daddy" and run to you and give you a cuddle, you know, and you did everything with them. And because as they get older, they obviously got their own interests, they do their own thing, they move away, they go out and about, they don't really want to see you anymore, and it is difficult, it is tough, and then you know, it's yeah, it's it's
I
not
guess,
not
yeah,
good times sometimes, but
because you're letting go of a significant part of your life.
yeah,
You're
they're
letting
just they're just sprouting off into the world, and then finding their own place in the world, and you're like looking out through the window as they're going off in the distance, sort of thing, finding themselves, and you're still there, you're still stuck, you haven't changed, and they've gone, sort of thing.
and
So
that
so
yeah, you know.
please remember these times now, because you in like 10 years you'll be saying the same thing, mate. You
You're
know.
not always going to be the dad at Thomas Land covered in ice cream. You know what I mean? Right.
No, you're gonna be. Yeah, yeah,
You're gonna be the lift. You're an asshole. And I never want to think. I always think, how can I get past that? And I mean, as a friend respect, I would say you're a pretty cool dad. In as a mate, you're a cool dad. You're not. Do you know what I mean? You've not started buying lawn seed on a weekend, and
no,
just started. But you've got, like, you're a pretty cool dad. You know, what I mean, you still dress pretty young.
yeah,
You know, and like my yeah, that's, I guess that's something I'm gonna yet to find. But yeah, my kids are like a good source for my mental health. But then also, I could, like I said, making yourself feel like you're good enough for that moment is difficult.
yeah, yeah. But that's not their fault. That's your fault. That's our own selves producing self doubt
Mhm.
within our own minds. So it's nothing to do with the kids, with anybody else. Normally, anyway, it's just what we think and what we feel. And I'm sure loads of dads out there feel the same every single day. Like you say,
Yeah,
am I enough? Am I doing this right? Should I have done that longer?
and again, like I said, my scenario is different to Dave's scenario and Paul's and Steve's and whatever, yeah, and
Yeah,
Matt's or whatever. But and I get it. Some people are in completely different ball games. Some people are fighting every single day to see their children, and that is a not turner for me because I couldn't even comprehend. I
I
couldn't
think that
could not
that's
comprehend with that, and I honestly I wish it on nobody. I've seen the damage it does. I felt the damage myself physically. I felt the damage myself growing up of being like, "Where's dad?"
yeah.
Um, although my mum wasn't, there wasn't anything wrong in that respect. There was nothing wrong in my mum's aspect. There was no stoppage or there was nothing.
Uh,
It was more of obviously
from his
look.
side.
Yeah, I obviously moved locations and
Yeah, yeah.
things like that, and obviously he, at the time obviously had a new life, new wife. Um, and don't get me wrong, like I said, he didn't forget me or anything like that. But at the time, it was like I always felt, and we had communication when I was younger. Don't get me wrong, I went to stay around and all that. But
Yeah.
I felt intrusive.
On
I
his
felt,
new life.
yeah, yeah, like
Yeah.
there wasn't a room for me to stay in. It was always I'd stay in, you know, my stepbrother's bedroom floor.
Yeah.
If anything went wrong, it was like
Your
my
fault.
fault, mine and my
Yeah.
brother's fault. Not in his eyes, but in that life. And
Yeah.
everything was different. It wasn't like you and dad. It was like, oh, it was like them and dad, and then you're just here like a sleepover.
Yeah. Yeah.
So everything else just was second. And I didn't never really got over it. So then I stopped. I just stopped all entirely, and then it was like, oh shit, where's and I get it. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying to people like don't move on with your life, don't get on with it, because men and women both do it, and they both. Some
Need
people
to
have
do it.
some people have divorces, and they get and they remarry. Like you should, you've
Yeah.
got to find happiness, but at the same time, I think children don't know how to process that.
Do you think it would have been easier? What age were you when this happened?
I mean, I was young. I think my brother was about 7, so I might have been about 3 or 4.
Oh, okay.
So I was young,
So,
young.
so what do you think it would have been different if you were 16, 18 sort of age, and then parents split up?
I think by then, yeah, completely different because
You
I
could
feel by then.
understand the world a bit better, how relationships work.
But then I think I would have been fueled by anger more than loss,
Okay.
because I feel like people say you can't grieve what's not there, but yet you do, because you see what other people have and what you don't. And growing up, it was always a like questions, just not bad questions, but questions from a friend like, "Oh, is he your dad?" And you're like, "No, no, he's not my dad." "Oh,
Yeah.
where's your dad?" And you're like, "Oh, well, you know," yeah, and you explain, and that it's not just my mum and dad are here to pick me up. It's more like it was always my mum. My
Yeah.
mum
Yeah.
did. My mum did everything. My mum was mum and dad. Do you know what I mean? She, like I said, she raised us strict, tough, but with every piece of love that she had.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think at that point, we always forget as well. Like, my mum was trying to navigate life herself at that point. Growing up growing up, she'd been married twice, divorced twice, and she was trying to navigate life for herself at that point. I'm like thinking, I always think that now, and I think, fuck me, that must have been tough.
Yeah.
Like she had nothing. She just had work and parent, and then the more work you did, the less time you got with your children, and then she was
Yeah.
punishing herself because we didn't have enough. And now I think back and go, fuck me, like we had a lot for what you was able to provide. We had a lot.
Mm.
So then, yeah, yeah, it was difficult. And then obviously as well, like step parents are never a bad thing. Like my stepmom was great growing up. I'd look at her now and think she was great. I had some um, great stepdads in my life. They were really quite impactful on me. So that was a good point for me. Um,
Yeah.
but obviously, you've always grown up with both your parents have always been together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So did how was that for you? growing up? Was it just like, did they argue at all?
Occasionally, I think I'd hear it occasionally. Obviously, couples argue. You know,
Mhm.
people say if you don't argue, you don't love them. But I don't always necessarily believe that. You just get pissed off easy, and little things piss you off because you don't really like them. You know.
What would you say your parents' secret is to their life? What have they done to get through married life together? Are they married? Yeah, I assume they're married.
Yeah, yeah, over 50 years married.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know. They obviously had bad times, from what I remember when I was young. Don't really remember that much. I didn't really get involved in that. You just hear, like when you're asleep and you hear them talking, and you lean over the landing to hear them downstairs, seeing what they're saying. What are you doing? It's not sex now. It's like arguing. We're on about
Yeah.
trying to. You ruined that moment there. Not bad.
No,
Listening to like issues that couples have and stuff, from what I vaguely remember anyway. And I think they wanted to be with each other. I think that's probably, and they do anything to stay together. So that that's all I can really guess. I would say, if you want to do it, you'll do it. If you
you
don't want
will
to
do,
do it,
yeah.
but you both have to want to do it.
Yeah, yeah, of
You
course. But
can't
then
be one sided because
I
it
also
just
think
goes
that
wrong.
it's also okay if you don't want to do it. It's
Yeah,
okay if you don't want to do it. Like it's okay that if you both come from a place and then you've grown from a place and you don't no longer meet because it's not always like people always think, when like years ago a divorced woman was unheard of. Do you know what I mean? Like, 50 years ago, being a divorced woman was very difficult. I would
yeah,
imagine, we would not have seen, you know, whereas a man's point of view would have been like, oh, he's all right, he's going to get married again.
yeah. But no one wants her. She's divorced.
She's
Yeah,
divorced, yeah.
yeah,
And, but I also think it's okay because I also think that just because it didn't work out doesn't mean that, anything's wrong with that. It means that you've just grown in different
different
directions.
directions. Yeah, different ways.
And sometimes people will find their best selves on the other side of divorce. And I think sometimes as well, you can then later on down the line, you can realize actually, do you know what? It wasn't as best set as I ever thought it should be. It wasn't best set as I like, and I
Mm.
think that's one thing that is being about being honest with yourself because I don't think anybody else. When people, do you know the classic line of like when you'd lose a girlfriend as a young lad and your mates would say, "There's plenty more fish in the sea," and you're like, "She's the only one though. she's
Yeah,
the only, she's the only fish I wanted at that time." Like,
yeah.
I mean, I always think for me, I think, do you know what? If touch wood, it never does really touch wood, but like if I was ever to find myself on my own again, I would vow to myself to stay on my own for the rest of my life. And only
Yeah.
because, and not for a self pity thing or anything like that, but just because I would have done something, been there, done that, and I've had my go. I wouldn't try and change it. I'll be like, listen, I've got my kids and,
Yeah.
I've lived my life and there's family around me. I don't need to put myself into another situation where I'm potentially going to be vulnerable.
No, and
And
I definitely understand that. That there's many times. Obviously, I've been divorced twice now, and I'm nearly there, Ross. Don't worry, Ross Geller. Friends joke. Um, it's I had great times. I had not so great times, and unfortunately things didn't work out. But I tried again didn't work out. So you know, but it wasn't all bad. So it is what it is. You just have to learn from it. Remember the bad things you did. Remember the good things you did. What worked, what didn't work within a relationship, and try and use that going forward. I suppose
Mm.
you know. Try not to make not necessarily the same mistakes again because some people wouldn't call them mistakes. I reckon, but it's just how you learn from it and how you go, like how you look at yourself going forward and how you want to be. Really, I think nowadays people are happier on their own. Like you said, you would probably wouldn't be with anybody else, but I really think there's so many people now that don't get in a relationship again because of the heartache, the pain, the stress, the worry, the financial worry as well. But then again, that does help if you have a partner because your house, because house prices are so expensive. You
That's
know,
called that's called a hobosexual.
homosexual, yeah. Uh, just get a roommate; it's easier.
I
But
just I don't even think it's that. I think it's more of a self control thing that I've had my go. I've done it. If I couldn't make it work in that situation, everything where I put my all, because I will leave nothing on the table. I will, well, I'll probably clean the table, but I'll leave nothing on the table. If I can't put my all into that situation, like, I've done my bit. Do you know
but
what I
then
mean?
I'm sure there's been times in your marriage where you think,
Unless I come
oh,
home and she's
I,
getting dicked down by the window cleaner, then different story.
times when you thought, oh, I could have handled that a lot better than that. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Why did I do that
Yeah,
for?
yeah, hundred
Uh,
percent, 100%. And
and
I,
it's
I
like
think
fuck's sake, but it's like learning from it. That's the thing, isn't it?
it's there's some things as well that are so classic marriage. It's unreal. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I do like I said, the biggest argument we have in our house is, "What do you want for dinner?" I don't know. What do you want? I don't mind. Oh, okay. Well, is there anything you fancy? Not really. All right then. Well, should we have a bolognese? Oh, I don't fancy it. What the fuck? You know, like
Yeah,
I'm like I said, some of the roles are reversed because I love the organization. I love the cooking, the cleaning, sorting the cars, doing the stuff, doing all the practical, physical stuff. However,
yeah.
I can't handle anything with numbers. If a brown letter comes through the door, I'm like, I'm not touching that. It's nothing to do with
That's
me.
for you.
Do you know what I mean? So we have strengths. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah, obviously another thing I obviously want to say is um, autism.
yeah.
Um, I know it's new for you in a respect, and obviously you're
Not officially.
not officially
Yeah.
diagnosed.
Mm.
But take yourself back as far as you can remember. What's different? What's different? What made you think of different things, or what made you think you were different from
Um,
me or friends, family, whatever? What made you think?
I always had issues with doing things, but I just thought it was the things I was doing. That doesn't really make any sense. Normal things, day to day things that people do, like going to a pub, go meet your friends for a drink. I fucking hate that. I can't do that. I can't do it. I can do it if it's an old pub, just walking past. Oh, let's go get a drink or get a coffee in there or have some food. I can't do occasions. I really freak out about occasions. What's expected of me if we do this? If we, what am I gonna be expected to do if we go there? I can't control the situation. It's It worries me. I go cold. I go quiet. I go within myself. And if I can get away with not doing it, I don't do it. And in the past, it's caused many, many rows
'Cause you
over the
don't do it.
years. Not understanding why I was like I was. Many, many other things as well that I didn't really want to go into personally.
That's fine. You, like I said, it's not something that you have to just tell the boss about
And
if you want to.
going through the diagnosis with my son really, it's like fucking hell. I've got like he has 100% of these. I have about 75% of these. And it's like, oh, hello, you know.
But in no way are you unique. That's what I suppose at that point you would feel, you'd be thinking, especially if you're reading the spectrum as such, and you're going, "Oh fucking hell, that's me. That is me."
Yeah,
And you're comparing as well
I
to.
don't. I it would explain an awful lot, I think, and I do mask it quite well. I don't really like social interaction. Quite often I'll plan to do stuff and I just don't end up doing it because I would rather sit in my room than go. You know, whether it's paid for or not, I still like. You know, it's like this weekend I'm going to Hellfire Caves with Mark for a VIP Scarefest horror maze Halloween thing, free food, drink, etc., free scare maze. It'll be fucking epic, and it's right down my street. But there's still little Michael in the background going,
Probably stay at home though.
yeah, I'm not going to, but I could do, you know. And as amazing as that would be, and I told Mark I'm going, you know, he put my name down, all this stuff.
It's still that
It's
initial
it's
thought.
it's still a possibility. I won't not
So
go. I will go, but yeah, it's in my head that what's expected of me, who's going to be there, how is it going to be laid out, where'd you get the food from, are you expected to do this, you know? And then my brain starts ticking away, and it's like talking myself out of it, and it's like, no, you don't want to be in that situation because you won't be able to cope. You can't do
yeah.
this, and it's like, oh fuck's sake.
So let me ask you. Obviously, a few weeks, a couple of months back, you told me a story about again meeting Mark and Rich, and on the motorway. That time you met them, and then you ended up driving past them or driving out your way, whatever you did.
I was on the wrong side of the motorway, the wrong service
Wrong.
station, on the right
Yeah,
motorway, but the wrong direction.
yeah. Wrong, wrong,
Yeah,
wrong direction.
yeah.
What what would at that point? What was it that made you freak out? Do you think it was the anger in yourself or the autism in yourself? Because you lost control. Because
Yeah,
you
yeah, I think
did
both.
right.
To be fair, I was pissed off because Rich was sending me messages saying, "Oh, you fucking idiot! You're going the wrong place. You have to come and find us. I told you to follow the map or whatever." So I was pissed off at him because he was making stupid comments which didn't really help at the time. I was pissed off
Such a
because
dick, Mark.
I fucked up. In my mind, I thought, "Am I going to go on the right side? Are they going to be there?" Because I did have question marks. I didn't really know where I was going on the route. Just following my sat nav. And technically it did take me there, but it was the wrong services. So
Hmm.
it was, I was out of, it was out of my control. I was frustrated. I was angry with myself, but also with Rich, but probably not with Rich because he was just taking a piss at me because I fucked up. But for me, again, like we said earlier, you need someone to blame. So my anger was at him because he fucking annoyed me, and I was so close to turning around and going home, and I paid for a hotel for the weekend. I was going to have an amazing weekend with lots of people that I know, and we were going to watch loads of paranormal talks and chats and stuff, meeting lots of great people. You know,
But you were going to walk away from it
I was going to walk away and go home. Yeah, I
in
was
that moment.
so fucking close to turning around, just going home. It'd be easier. I could be home in like an hour, and I'd be fine. I could chill in my bedroom, and then probably later on that night, I'd be fucking
Regretting
pissed
it.
off. Yeah,
Yeah.
regretting it. Yeah, yeah,
And does it hold you back often in things that you want to do?
yeah.
You
Like
just don't. You
I've got a
don't
week.
obviously talk about it,
No,
but
I've got a weekend of doing stuff planned in my head, whether I'll do them or not, because I have to go do them on my own because it's something that I want to do on my own. It's like I'm going out filming for my cemetery channel, and I'll be going to cemeteries that I don't know, and taking my drone with me, and then I'm thinking that people are going to watch me fly my drone, and people are going to who's going to be at the church, at the cemetery. Is there people going to moan at me? Is there people going to be watching me? And then it's like it's easy if someone's with you, but not on the video, sort of thing. And then it would be like, oh, maybe I could just stay and watch a film. And then so I've got all this time, I can do something this weekend, things are planned, and then in a couple of weeks I've got a week off, and
mm,
I'm planning to do like the Halloween week, do loads of fucking stuff, and it'll be a case of I'll do it tomorrow. You know, you get up, you got all these things planned, cameras charged, and then yeah, it does stop me all the fucking time. It stops me, and yeah, it
I
is.
get I get it to a point because I think the older I get, the more I don't want to be in the outside world as much. The more I have to be, and I like the outdoors, and I love the outdoors. I love socializing. I am. I want. I used to always. I think I spent so long being an extrovert that part of me wants to be an introvert and enjoy my four walls. And you know, it always comes back to going, no, you pay a lot of fucking money for your four walls, right? Enjoy that shit because
Yeah, enjoy it. Yeah,
you don't just come here to sleep, you know. And oh god, I enjoy it. Like one of the things I do, I have my brothers come around and we literally just get some food and watch 3 or 4 films in a row. Love it. They always say, "Should we go out?" And the amount of times we go out, and we go to cinema, and we go for food, and we go to cinema, and it's like between the three of us, it's like 160 quid or whatever. And I'm like, "Fuck me!" I said, "Lads, we could just chill at my house and watch movies and whatever." And I mean, God, we watched they came around the other night, and we watched VHS Halloween on the horror channel called Shudder. They
yeah, I've heard of
introduced
that. Yeah,
they introduced me to Shudder, and it's basically shit horror films. Not all shit, but some of them are just shit.
yeah,
Um. Anyway, don't get me wrong. For me, that I like that. I don't have to get dressed. You know, whereas I used to like getting dressed up.
yeah. I hate it.
I used to like ironing my stuff and going out, and I still do. I still do like it, and I still like going to new places. But part of me goes, I like the peace that I can find within my home. I like the thought of not having to be. I don't like big groups anymore. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with me. I'm not saying that I'm trying to say I'm neurodivergent or anything like that. But for me, it's a time thing. The time I don't like spending time with other people that I don't want to spend time with. I feel like. Do you
Yeah,
ever feel like? Do you ever feel like there's no more applications for friends in your life now? I'm not taking any more applications for friends.
I'm
Like,
not like that. I'm pretty open, to be fair, but I will be very selective
yeah.
of. But I'm normally people that I get on when I first meet them.
Hmm.
Nah, that's a red flag for me now because I've learned over the years the people that I fucking hated at the beginning or thought I
You
would
hated
hate.
me.
Yeah, no, and I end up fucking loving them. But the people that like, oh yeah, you're my mate, yeah, fucking cool and all that. Fuck off. Yeah, within a month, I'm like, nah, fucked up there. And you see the real side of people. So I'm a shit judge of character, really shit. So
I
I'll
think
take
I
a
met
step.
you a lot of times before we started full on chatting.
Oh yeah, you worked to the other side of the homes,
So
didn't you?
I would see you at like day places and stuff like
Yeah,
that and
yeah.
events.
Occasionally, yeah.
But it was never. I don't think we ever had proper conversation for a long time until we started working together, like in the same place.
No, not until then. No.
Yeah, yeah, and then yeah, but then it's like
Do you want to know my honest opinion of you when I first met you?
cocky prick.
Well, yeah,
what?
it
What's a
was. You
wanker?
used to live in the gym, you used to wear the tightest clothes possible, and I thought, what a knob. I really did. I thought, look at this wanker, fucking, you know, and and then obviously because I didn't know you, that's the only real impression I got of you
Perception,
until
yeah.
until I sort of got to know you and worked with you. Then I'd totally ignored that side because I thought, ah, it's just Niall, you know. And like you say, you've changed as a person. You've gone away from that side. You
I'm
don't
gonna
iron
go
every.
fat dad now.
But like I said, it was like first impressions for me was
I,
totally wrong because I thought, ah, no, I was a knob, you know.
I, I was,
Now I love you, so it's totally different now.
I was a fucking mess. I was a mess. But in my own right though, because I was just,
I think you were there for show. You were all about the show. You were very
I
vain.
was,
What you
oh
wore,
yeah.
what you bought, what you spent money on, how you looked. You were
Where I went,
obviously
yeah,
single and you were in the dating game, so that's sort of understandable. But that's how I
play on
perceived you.
player,
Yeah,
play
that's
on
what it
player.
was. You were like a Towie boy, you know.
I couldn't fucking think of anything worse now. I could
No,
not.
that sounds.
I could. I couldn't even. We had this discussion the other day, and we talked about going. We said, what do you think it'd be like if we went on dating apps now? And I said to her, I was like, I said maybe we should both sign up to dating apps just to see what's out there for us,
So
and
you'd
then
pick.
because and that's the thing, we can have those conversations. We can have whereas some people be like, and I mean, some people would be like, that is the fucking worst thing you should ever talk about. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I couldn't do it. What to talk about? Oh well, so I cleaned. Fucking kid. Do you know what I mean? Like,
In my
son's had
pants.
son,
Your
son's had the
wellies
shit.
on.
Son's had the shits today. He's had about four nappies, four shitty nappies. I went to the tip today. Dropped off some rubbish. Um, tire pressure's low in the front left. So I need to sort that out tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? I'll be fucking dreadful. Oh,
Yeah.
and by the way, do you smoke? Because if you do, I can help you. You're you're healed. um,
Mm.
yeah, no, I guess that's one thing that makes everybody different, right? Is we all deal with different things on different days, and your day is not necessarily going to be a good one tomorrow. My day might not necessarily be a bad one, and I think we all have our issues in certain ways, and I think one of the things that we don't look at when it comes to mental health is everybody thinks as mental health is a bad thing. Poor mental health, bad mental health, or good mental health. They think of it as a,
You can't have good mental health, surely.
well, you can.
How?
Well, what does a good mental health day look like for you?
Oh, a day. Yeah, you're
Well,
happy at that point.
yeah, but then what is it? What is it? Your coffee tastes just right. You know
Yeah, things make you happy, individual things, yeah.
you
You can,
you found the lead that you've been looking for ages.
yeah. That's what my happy book's for. Everything is shit, and you write down the little blips. Beep, beep, beep. That's how I live my life now. Everything is shit. The world is shit. My life is shit. And then I have good bits in my life. The blips, the heartbeat.
And
That is.
whoever reads that book will have the perception that you had a happy life.
Well, some days there's only one thing on it. Some
That's
days there's
right.
seven. So, and I've nearly done this book as well. So that's when did I start this? Oh, look at that happy book. Just doodling, writing rubbish.
But I think that's
Positivity. You are enough. 24th of April I started that, and I've got my next one ready because I've only got about 20 pages left.
but I think
That's how I cope. That's what I how
yeah,
I
that's
I have
enough.
to do that
That's
for my own
enough.
sanity. I think my
And I think,
beliefs.
like you said, a good mental health day for you would be being being able to write in that book on that
Lot,
day.
lots of things in that book.
Yeah, and
There's not been a day I haven't written in it.
yeah, and
So
again, it can be the smallest thing to the biggest thing. It could be the weather. You know, what I mean, an extra 20 quid in the bank than you thought you had. Things that would take that spin.
yeah,
Um, obviously, I think again one of my major issues and I hate the term because I don't like to put myself in the box, but I hate the term anxiety because I don't suffer from anxiety, but I do fit in the health anxiety criteria because I worry about my health all the time, cripplingly all the time.
You should get checked out, do some tests,
But yeah, yeah. Oh,
and then they'll prove that there's nothing wrong
I
with you.
know, and I mean, this is not nothing new. This is going back years
Yeah.
to the point, years to the point where I'm sure somewhere on my NHS notes it will say somewhere along the lines of definitely got some borderline health anxiety issues going on. And like I said, I'm not proud of it, and I'm not afraid to talk about it. But I think the more so as a parent now, one, I've learned to control it because tough love, tough exterior of saying no, you are dramatizing this for no reason. You don't need to go and buy medication off the internet. You don't need to go and do this. You don't need to Google every single symptom, right? You don't need to. And I mean, I've done some extra, like, I've lied, you know. I think I remember once I was thinking, I read something about, I thought I had a chest infection. I thought I had a chest infection. Turns out I had a common cold. However, I lied about an ear infection to get antibiotics. Ended up taking a full course of antibiotics for no reason, and just ended up with shits for 2 weeks. I remember there was a time, I think when we were working together, 2016, 17, where I definitely had a problem with my gut. I had a gut problem, and I used to my worry, my symptom is shitting
Yeah.
for everything. My defense mechanism, my worry is, if Niall's worried, you'll find him in the bog having a shit. And do you know, say for example, right, me and you're going out next week, right? We're going out next week. Before I leave, I'll have to go and sit on the loo because I know we're going somewhere where toilets aren't accessible,
Yeah.
right? Or they are, but I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go for a shit in a fucking portaloo. However, it's not. It's my bladder and bowel that are both like nervous wheeze, nervous poos.
Yeah. Like where we're going next Wednesday. Well, in two
Yeah,
days' time when this comes out,
do it, Tom.
um, there will be toilets there, but I probably wouldn't use them. So I'd be shitting and pissing before I go.
Yeah, yeah. But mine's like two wheeze, two wheeze and a poo. You know what I mean? Like, and I guess it got to a point where years ago I lost a lot of weight, a lot of weight, like to the point where I remember the belt. I've still got the belt. I've still got the belt that I had back then. And put it this way, I'm nowhere near them holes anymore that are on that belt. And I know that, like, if I put it to the smallest ever was in that belt, Jesus Christ, I think one of my thighs is that fat now. I was
Yeah.
at one point I was a 28 waist.
Fucking, I wasn't born a 28 waist. Fucking hell.
I'm a 36 waist now.
Yeah, I wear 36, but my waist is like 42. So, but I don't. I'm not Simon Cowell, so I have them on my hips. But yeah, I know
Um,
what you're saying.
so
The, yeah.
yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult, and I guess anyway, I think mental health matters because nobody is excluded from it. Men or man or woman, child, pet,
No.
fucking hell. A lot of everybody suffers with a form of their mental health. And I think discussing it doesn't make you any different. Doesn't There doesn't need to be that exterior, and you can say what you want about mental health. You can say, well, you're a bitch for talking about it, or no one wants to fucking hear it, or you've got one of them fucking hoodies. No, there's nothing worse than that. And I'm thinking, do you know what? That's fine because people's opinion is not your reality.
No.
Until they're sitting in your shoes, don't judge. Do you know what I mean? Don't fucking pass judgment. And I think even you always think about the toughest people you've ever known. the toughest people, the notorious gangsters. You're telling me that there isn't some part in them that carries a burden or a demon to say, actually, do you know what? This is where I don't want to be.
They all did. They all do.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The craze and fucking schizophrenia and fucking mental health, right?
Yeah.
There's fucking Al Capone, absolute fucking Fruit Loop, right? Do you know what I mean? And I think
Yeah.
even putting yourself in a position where you do things because you're desperate, like, I think being a gangster's desperate.
Pretty pretty high up. Yeah.
But I also think being an everyday geezer, run of the mill, 9 to 5, 10 till 2, fucking paycheck to paycheck, credit card maxed, making the most out of 20 quid. Do you know what I mean? Putting a holiday on a credit card just because you want to see your kids happy. Do you know what I mean? Fuck me, making 4 tins of beans and some bread and cheese last a week. Fuck me, I've been there.
Yeah.
Getting creative. I was saying to my wife earlier, we were messing in the kitchen and was turning the lights off and then turning them back on. It's just to see the little lads start going, oh, when we'd do it, because he thought the
Yeah.
lights gone off. And I remember saying to us, when I was a kid, that was called a candle night.
Save
Because,
electricity. Yeah.
I mean, save it, we ran out, whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
The, and I remember I was talking to you about the cards. So we used to have a electricity meter where you'd put the paper cards in.
Yeah. Yeah. The card. And then we had the little stick for the gas. I used to go to the local shop to put money on both of them. I preferred them than running up a big bill. If I run out, I run out. I knew I was going to run out, but I didn't owe
Uh,
anything. That's how
yeah,
I preferred.
so first of all, it started off as, no, we now you do it with a credit card type of thing. Before it was like you could buy a £1 card, a £5 card, and like a £20 card, and it
Oh,
was
okay, from the
paper.
shop. Yeah.
It was paper. It was like paper with a black line down the middle,
All
and
right.
you'd put it in, and as you put it in, it would stamp it and like put like three holes in it, and then that's where you'd get the 20 quid on the electric.
Ah,
And I remember she's going, do you remember that? She was like, no, no.
I don't remember that.
And I was like, I mean, I remember the key. I remember the key because it used to have the plastic thing over it. And then you'd
Yeah, it
pull it back
used
and
the little
go,
thin thing. It used to fold out and then fold back in on itself. Yeah, you give it to them over the counter. £20, please, and then 10 quid on that one. Yeah.
yeah. And it's like that times like that, it's just, I don't miss it. I miss those times. That's nostalgia to me. The comment, and that's where the dark humor comes from. The dark humor comes from what you go through is what you'll grow through, and how you grow through it is up to you.
Oh, that's
How
a
you
good saying.
how you see it is definitely how you what you go
Oh,
through. What you go through is what you grow through.
write that down. T-shirt coming.
So yes. Anyway, those geezers, those women, those mums, dads. To me, that's gangster. That is gangster. Pulling your shit together. And obviously, at the start of this, I asked you about therapy. I said, I mentioned therapy. Um,
I'd like to go therapy.
no, well, this is what I was going to say.
I think I'd cry a
This,
lot.
this for me, this what we do in the past 4 years that we've done this. This is my therapy
Yeah.
because we're not drinkers, right? So you're never going to find
No.
us in a pub. We like to go to the cinema and watch a film. We don't talk at that. Do you know what I mean? We watch the film, maybe have a laugh beforehand, or
Yeah.
we go and do fucking activities, or go to fucking farms and shit. Um, but this for me is my therapy, and I think the only reason why I say it's my therapy is because I come here and we can talk about anything but my problems, or we can talk about problems.
Yeah. I think I
Oh,
talk more about mine than you do.
yeah, maybe, but then like I said, that's my exterior. But I
Yeah.
think
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes me talking about certain scenarios outlines the way I'm feeling. Me talking about mental health is because I've been thinking about mental health a lot the past few days and where my mental health's at.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Um,
indirectly talking about the
Yeah,
subject that you're struggling with at the time.
yeah, and
Yeah,
I wouldn't, and that for me, that's enough. I don't get me wrong. There's fucking jars and jars of baggage that people say you should get rid of all that. You should offload some of that stuff that you've seen and gone through as a kid,
yeah,
and I'm like, no, no, because I know for a fact that my mum has not had a chance to offload all her shit that she ever went through, and she didn't change. She didn't change. She had her good days and bad days, and that's how you saw it.
yeah, yeah,
All right, but she still showed up every single day, and she was gangster about it. Do you know what I mean? Like she
She-
pulled she pulled us out from any situation that was bad. Do you know what I mean? And yet she'd still managed to make a shepherd's pie from scratch to feed the 5,000.
yeah. As they
Yeah,
say, just keep swimming.
exactly. And that for me, that's enough because I don't need to offload all this. Just like she was never given the opportunity to. Because do you know when people blame their parents for shit? Like, oh,
Yeah, yeah.
I blame my parents for the way I am,
Very much so.
the way they brought me up. Well,
Yeah,
like you said, your parents wasn't given an opportunity. You stop thinking about when it's your parents, they're just your parents, right? They are your parents. That's all you see them as.
yeah,
But you don't see them as the individuals they once were. You just see them as your parents because that's who they are to you. You know,
yeah. You don't necessarily see their individual side. You know, the little things that made them who they are.
yeah,
You
of
don't
course.
necessarily see them because they probably didn't show you them because they were too busy being a parent. When
Yeah.
obviously when you're younger anyway, and then you moved out and you don't see them at their when they're on their own, when they're with their husband, their wife, or whatever, your
Do you know what
mum
I
or
mean?
your dad. You don't
And
see them things.
do you know when you speak to people and they're like, especially you see it at a lot of funerals, speak to people and be like, you hear stuff about people that you never knew. You'd be like,
Yeah,
oh, like something that you'd never know about your dad. And then all of a sudden someone would say, oh, yeah, I remember when he used to be really into fishing. And then you'd be like, he never fished. And then you think back and go, maybe I never asked him what he liked to do. Maybe I
that's the
never.
funny. It's funny you say that. My mum said something yesterday. I can't remember what it was, and she goes, "Oh, you didn't know we did that, did you? Like, or we like that, or?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't." And because I bought them these books at Christmas, one for mum, Who Am I, Who My Dad, blah blah blah. And it's like, what did you want to be when you like from when you were a child? What did you want to be when you grew up? What first place you lived? You know, basically going through all your lives, all your loves, your hates. So basically, when they pass over, you can have memories from themselves. I think they're brilliant books. And my mum said about that last night, saying that, oh, we could put that in the book and that. And I'm like, oh yeah, I've totally forgotten it, but I thought, oh, that's a great idea. I didn't know that. And it's like, I'm 46 and I did not know that
Didn't know that, yeah, because
about them.
you didn't think to know.
Or asked, or they've never mentioned it, or I've
Yeah,
never
yeah, yeah.
seen it. Yeah,
You
yeah.
didn't, and that's the thing. I think that's a reality that will always carry on. It won't stop because there's nothing that can fix that. You can't fix that. Children don't think. Children are, they're very focused on being the child, and then when they grow, they're dealing with all their own shit. They're dealing with feelings and thoughts and hormones, and yet they don't think to go, oh, fucking my dad used to skateboard, like, and I can't wait to, like, the stuff I can't wait to do with my daughter. I love to go fucking shopping. Do you know what I mean? I can't wait to fucking take her late night shopping at Christmas and stuff. But then at the same time, I can't wait to put my little boy on a surfboard and be like, this is what I did it for. Yeah.
Exactly.
And that for me, that's enough. That's enough to keep me going.
And
Like,
I will say to you, I know you don't like social media, that's fair enough. Film whatever you can film. Like I say, you don't have to put it anywhere, just keep it for yourself. But have the memories, put them somewhere. I don't know, put them on a files on your computer or something. Just have so many videos, so many pictures of the good times with your kids. That's the
and
only
that's what I want to
advice I
do.
can really say to you.
And luckily, I know a really good editor that can make films. So, Do you know what I mean? His
Ding
his
ding
rate
ding.
his rates are really good. But yeah, and you're right. You're right. Memories, like I said, I've got. Oh, where is it? I got two photos the other month off my dad, and that's it. So I've got
What,
three.
of him or of you two together?
No, of me. I got three photos of my childhood.
From when you were little with
Yeah,
your dad?
three. That's it. No, three in general
None from your mum then? No? Oh wow.
because of things that happened.
Yeah, okay.
Um, everything got lost.
Fucking hell.
Three photos I've got from when I was a kid. That for me, I think I took three photos today of the kids.
Yeah.
You know, and that.
Difficult back in the day. If you had to have a camera, you had to
Yeah,
pay
yeah.
to get it developed. It wasn't as easy as it is today on
I,
your phone.
yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's some more somewhere else. I'm sure people have took them and I've got them, but that's
Yeah.
all I've got. But for me, again, I don't see that as I'm going to be down about that. I see that as I'm not going to do that.
No.
So
And also you've got three pictures. You could have had no pictures.
yeah, and I just feel like I'm not going to be sad about what I've been through. But what I will do is learn from it.
Hmm.
I will see the repercussions of it, and I will see how I felt in certain situations because I know how to recognize that feeling, and I wouldn't, and I know what put me there. So therefore, I know what not to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Hence, the exterior is because just crack on with it, have a laugh and that for me, that's enough. But well, thanks for joining us on this episode of Dads, Lads, and Kebabs. And just to let you know, if you're listening to this, the end of this will understand the meaning. So we're going to call this episode the UK's most notorious gangster interview. Clickbait at its best, I know, but that's what we're going to call it because it seems that when we talk about gangsters or real life, dangerous scenarios, we get more listeners.
From fucking Essex.
So this time we're going to have a black silhouette and we're going to call it an interview with the UK's most notorious gangster. Thanks for listening. Deuces. And fuck off.
You can't.